Good evening and thanks for joining me for Saturday's edition of News Hour. We are live on GTV, GBC News and DSTV on channel 278. My name is Clara Mlano. To our first story. The President says the 2021 senior high school students performed creditably in the recently released West African Senior School Certificate Examination WASSCE results. Nana Akufo-Addo says this has vindicated his decision to roll out the free senior high school policy for the President. The results show that more students have qualified for tertiary education now than before. He was addressing a Durbar to mark the 70th anniversary of Tamale Senior High School. We bring you videos to the story later. The acting public affairs manager of SNITS, Mr. Charles Akwe-Gershon, says the 31st December deadline for the merger of biodata on the SNITS and Ghana cards is not likely to be extended. This follows calls from a section of the public for the deadline to be extended due to some challenges in the process. Speaking to GBC News in our earlier bulletin, Mr. Akwe-Gershon indicated that there is enough time for all those who need to get their Ghana cards and do the merger, so to beat the deadline. The deadline for the merger of biodata on the SNITS card and Ghana card is December 31, 2021, with barely 20 days to go. Some have called for extension of the deadline due to challenges with network. Others say they are yet to receive their Ghana cards. However, in an interview with GBC News, the acting public affairs manager of SNITS, Mr. Charles Akwe-Gershon, said the deadline remains the same.
No, we hope not to get there. We still have some 20 more days, and we are hoping that by that time people would have matched their numbers. But the process is pretty simple. People should just get on their phones and do the merger, and those who for one reason or the other cannot use their phones should walk into any of our 51 branches and get the merger done.
He said the merger is not for only persons in the formal sector, but also for those in the informal sector who have registered with SNIT.
Every SNIT member, so whether you're a contributor or you're a pensioner, you are supposed to merge your numbers so that from 2022, that is next month, you can continue to access pension-related services from the trust.
On complaints of interruption in network, persons who are yet to receive their Ghana cards, persons who have issues with their SNIT cards, and card holders who may miss the deadline, this is what Mr. Gershon has to say.
For people who have not received their card, NI card, they still have the opportunity to contact NIA to get their numbers, the Ghana card number or the NIA number. What I'm referring to as the NIA number is the personal ID number on the Ghana card. So once you contact them that if my card is not ready, please can I have my number? They will generate your number for you, they will take your number from their system. So using that number and your SNITS number, you can simply initiate the merging.
A campaign #GreenGhana, #MyTreeIsAlive has been launched as part of activities to keep track of the Green Ghana initiative that saw the planting of 5 million seedlings across the country in June 2021. A Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources in charge of forestry, Mr. Benito Owusu-Bio, said the campaign is to urge Ghanaians to keep track of the seedlings they planted and make sure they are alive.
Today, Saturday, December 11, 2021, is exactly 6 months since the Green Ghana Day initiative was implemented. To keep track of the initiative and the growth of the seedlings planted, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources launched the Green Ghana My Tree is Alive campaign. Speaking to GBC News, the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources in charge of forestry, Mr. Benito Owusu-Bio, explained the campaign and its significance in Ghana's climate change agenda.
We know it's going to generate a lot of interest, and we'll build on that momentum so that moving into next year, we will be able to get all Ghanaians along to do a bigger event which would even be better than what we did in the year 2021.
He said though the seedlings are growing well, more seedlings need to be planted.
The president committed Ghana to planting 20 million seedlings in the year 2022. That is June 11, 2022.
Mr. Usubio said Ghana is committed to achieving the 1.5 degrees temperature target set at the Climate Change Summit.
We are not just saying, just go and visit your tree. We are saying, show us a picture of you watering your tree. That is you nurturing your tree. And then post it and let others see so that others too follow. I have done mine, and I wish every Ghanaian will also do the same.
The government declared 11th June 2021 as a National Tree Planting Day under the Green Ghana Project. As part of its efforts to preserve the country's forest cover, the Ghana Forestry Commission provided 5 million seedlings to communities across the country for the day's activity.
When the last tree dies, the last man dies is an adage that emphasizes the importance of trees to human life. Trees are as important to humans as the air we breathe. However, activities such as deforestation has contributed largely to the loss of the forest cover globally. It is to check the trend and encourage people to plant trees in their environments that the Green Ghana Project was initiated in June this year. The campaign, led by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, planted 5 million trees nationwide 6 months down the line. We ask, how are the trees you planted faring?
At the premises of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, these are some of the seedlings planted 6 months ago. The Green in Ghana Project is a campaign to ensure preservation of Ghana's vegetative cover and the natural ecosystem. I tried talking to Idrisu Mohammed, one of the gardeners in GBC, to know how best he's been taking care of these seedlings. So do you give it water every morning or evening?
I plant 1 week before I plant, I give the water for them. So next 1 week I give them water. They come plant with me, I take care of the water 1 week, every day 1 week before I the water. So that time here, I don't go waste time. I go 1 week I go water. 1 week I the water them. So I take care of them for the plants.
Everyone who planted a seed is encouraged to take a selfie as evidence that the Green in Ghana campaign is indeed practical. For GBC News, Rahmatu Mahmoud Jawando reporting.
25 nursing mothers and pregnant girls reportedly sat for this year's Basic Education Certificate Examination (BECE) in one of the centers in the Insuta Kwaman Beposu constituency of the Ashanti region. The Member of Parliament for the area, Madam Adelaide Intim, who gave an assessment of education in her constituency in Parliament, described the situation as worrying and asked for the introduction of fair measures to curb the trend.
The statistics are alarming. At one particular center, 11 nursing mothers and 14 pregnant girls wrote the examination. It is fair to acknowledge that poverty plays a major part in the high incidence of juvenile immorality and promiscuity. But this is now a lancet by those who support them financially to put these girls in a family way at their useful ages. The denial of this sex education is how female adolescents and male youth makes them ignorant and widely exposed to these adult predators who will stop at nothing in achieving their lustful plans.
In my constituency alone, we recorded 27 pregnant mothers writing for the BCE and 17 nursing mothers. My worry, Mr. Speaker, is the rate at which these girls go through abortions. Some they go through crude abortions by using local herbs. And at the end of it, some of them lose their lives through serious bleeding and also through infections.
These teenage girls don't get pregnant by drinking water. We have our fathers, our brothers, our uncles, sometimes in very unfortunate circumstances, our husbands, impregnating these underage girls. It's not enough to say that government must ensure that there are some policies in place that will make sure that teenage girls don't get pregnant. What are our men doing?
I also think that we should also be looking at I know it's controversial, but the use of compulsory contraception.
I had 22 that were pregnant, 11 lactating mothers, and 3 young ladies who didn't show up but were pregnant. And then the question to ask is, what is their future? And as a mother, I worry about their future as much as I worry about the future of my children. We have ourselves to blame as leaders that 10 years before, if we had put certain measures in place, if we had done certain things, we would definitely have been able to create a much better society and a much better environment for our young children.
The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, and the Christian Council of Ghana have held a Deba to climax 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The event was intended to help increase awareness about gender-based violence, its impact on society, and how to prevent or mitigate it.
The Deba, which was on the theme End Violence Against Women Now, marked the 30th anniversary of the 16 Days of Activism Against the Gender-Based Violence program. Speaking at the event, the chairman of the Ghana Refugee Board, Mr. Kenneth Ajimai Atefua, intimated that artisans tend to abuse women more than any other group.
The disproportionate number of males who perpetrate violence against women and children were from the artisanal class. I don't believe that it was a case of only those people perpetrating violence. Doctors and lawyers and big politicians and men from all strata of society are perpetrators of violence. But those from the artisanal class had their violence against women and children being disproportionately reported.
The Director of Programs at the Christian Council of Ghana, Mrs. Joyce Lako-Steiner, said the campaign against gender-based violence should continue until the bad practice stops.
We shouldn't be happy with what we are getting. We should be very consistent. Say it every time. Like Prof said, let's turn the slogans into action. Are we really acting what we are saying? Today we are saying end violence against women now. We wear the T-shirt, it is written at the back. If you are a man and you are wearing the T-shirt, if you are violating the rights of any woman in any way, today commit yourself to say that I stop.
The Executive Secretary of the Ghana Refugee Board, Mr. Tete Paddy, said all efforts must be made to protect women.
Data from the Accra Regional Office of the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, DOVSU, indicates that as of August 2020, about 31.9% of Ghanaian women faced some form of domestic violence as part of efforts to stem the tide of gender-based violence. Hope for Africa, an NGO, and the Canada High Commission in Ghana have organized this year's 16 days event aimed at eliminating violence against women. The theme is Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now.
In 2007, the Ghanaian Parliament passed the long-awaited domestic violence bill. For all intents and purposes, it was imperative. However, experts have been calling for moves to create awareness and enforce compliance. This is because a report from the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, DOVSU, says that as of the end of August 2020, 31.9% of Ghanaian women faced some form of domestic violence. This is what prompted Hope for Africa and the Canadian High Commission in Ghana to organize the annual
16-day campaign program in the country. The Canadian High Commissioner to Ghana, Kati Chaba, was passionate about putting a stop to gender-based violence.
We know that 16 days is an important period of time to raise awareness about these issues and to try to sensitize communities, but we know that it's not enough 16 days. We have to keep going every day to keep fighting for these issues so that every woman and every child feels safe in their homes, in their communities, in their schools, and everywhere else.
The country director for Hope of Africa, Mrs. Vicentia Kwanti Asante, said it behoves everyone to help create a violence-free environment.
We went to the market, we have spoken, we have given them all the information and where to seek help. And a free toll number, which is 0800 111 222. It's a toll-free number. We've asked them to call. Somebody will pick and come to their aid.
The 16 days campaign was climaxed on 10th December 2021 at Akaman Jane Forecourt in Jamestown.
The 2021 Ghana Integrity Awards has been held in Accra. The ceremony, a brainchild of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, is designed to recognize the efforts of outstanding individuals and public sector institutions who continue to uphold personal and professional integrity aimed at reducing corruption in Ghana.
The awards are purposed to serve as incentives to influence positive behavior in Ghana and to provide an emotional reward to individuals and organizations doing the right things with integrity. The Internal Audit Agency received the Effective Internal Control Enforcement Award. The Efficient Public Service Delivery Award went to the National Identification Authority, and the National Commission for Civic Education took home the Transparency and Social Accountability Award. This year, 2 individuals were awarded the Integrity Personality of the Year Award. They are the investigative journalist Manasseh Awuni Azuri and a police officer, Mr. Confidence Fiagaji, for honorably exposing corrupt practices within their scope of work. A lecturer of the University of Ghana School of Law, Dr. Abdullah Ali Nachia, spoke on promoting ethical business in Ghana, the role of stakeholders.
In trying to engage in ethical practices, we say, one, you have to be honest, be truthful to yourself, disclose in all fairness. We are saying that you should maintain a personal integrity, because that is what you will move to your business, you will move into your dealings with people. If you don't have integrity, you can't buy it.
The Deputy Minister of the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, Mr. Alfred Tiayeboa, urged all to be committed to excellence and accountability.
Everyone has a responsibility not to stand by, but to stand up to corrupt activities. Be a citizen and not a spectator.
Each award winner received a citation, a plaque, and a desktop personal computer. For GBC News, Yaira Lawe reporting.
We take you to our earlier story where the president says the 2021 senior high school candidates performed creditably in the recently released West African Senior School Certificate Examination (WASSCE) results. Nana Akufo-Addo says this has vindicated his decision to roll out the free senior high school. For the president, the results show that more students have qualified for tertiary education now than before. He was addressing a Durbar to mark the 70th anniversary of Tamale Senior High School.
The special guest of honor, President Akufo-Addo, applauded the school's achievement, including giving him Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He extolled the free SHS policy, saying the performance of the first and second batches of the initiative has vindicated his decision to introduce the program.
Following the implementation of the free senior high school policy, which has guaranteed a minimum of senior high school education for 1.6 million Ghanaian children, I want to state without any equivocation that I'm very proud of the policy and of its results thus far.
The president announced plans to expand the free SHS to cover all first-year students of technical and vocational training institutes in the next academic year.
In 2022, government will expand the free senior high school program to cover all first-year students in public TVET institutes. Government will continue with the program of implementing the various reforms and projects in the TVET sector, including the rehabilitation and upgrading of technical universities, upgrading and modernization of the 34 NVTI centers, retooling of TVET institutes, and the establishment of 10 state-of-the-art TVET institutes.
The headmaster of the school, Reverend Emmanuel Azaka, commended government and old students of the school for their support in expanding infrastructure in the school. He appealed for support to complete some critical infrastructure projects initiated, as well as the renovation of staff bungalows.
2 dormitory blocks, namely Tamale House and Heffron House, are in a dilapidated state and need to be pulled down. The classroom blocks constructed in the 1950s are no more modern. In the 1950s, they gave us classrooms that were very open.
Guests, including traditional rulers, past and present students, personnel from the security services, and members of the general public. Tamale Senior High School was established by the colonial administration in 1951 as the first secondary school in northern region. In northern Ghana, it started with 20 boys, but by 1958 admitted its first batch of female students. The school has over the years produced some illustrious citizens. Politically, the President of the Third Republic, Dr. Hila Liman, the late former Vice President Alhaji Aliu Mahama, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the current Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Bagben, and Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambas. For the legal profession, 2 Supreme Court justices, namely Justice Joseph Bawa Akamba and Justice William Atuguba, who are both retired. Tamasco has also produced 2 chiefs of defense staff, the late Lieutenant General retired Joshua Mahamudu Hamidu and Air Vice Marshal Samson Oje, as well as the current General Officer commanding the Northern Command, Brigadier General Mohammed Mosisai. In academia, the current Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, and the first Vice-Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies, Professor Joshua Alabi. Tamasco stands tall in national competition, especially in the National Science and Maths Quiz, only coming second to eventual winners of this year's edition, Prempeh College. The population of the school has also increased from 20 in 1951 to 3,638 in 2021. The increase in population has been attributed to the free SHS introduced in 2017. The theme for the 70th anniversary celebration is Tamasco at 70, leading secondary education in northern Ghana.
From January 2022, all goods labeled as personal effects but not properly registered with will not be allowed into the country. This forms part of the Food and Drugs Authority (FDA's) moves to protect public health and safety, as most goods cleared as personal effects end up on the markets for sale.
The FDA's Center for Import and Export Control this year declared its zero tolerance for unregistered imported products policy to ensure that all FDA-regulated products imported are registered prior to clearance. Currently, 70% of all imported products are registered with the FDA. The remaining 30% represents goods labeled as personal effects. According to the FDA, it has increasingly observed that products meant for commercial purposes are cleared at the ports in the guise of personal effects. These products end up in trade in contravention of the Public Health Act, Act 851. Furthermore, freight consolidators, commonly known as door-to-door operators, who by practice aggregate regulated products from individuals into a single container have been found to be engaging in the activity of clearing unregistered products in drums and other receptacles, also in the guise of personal effects for sale across the country. To enforce its campaign on zero tolerance for unregistered imported products on the market, the FDA and its partners have established guidelines to help streamline the importation of personal effects into the country. The head of Imports and Exports Control Center of the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, Mr. Emmanuel Kwarteng, said the policy will be strictly enforced from January next year. He said the FDA is on high alert for unwholesome products on the market this festive season.
We noticed that the personal effect business has become very big. Every corner of Accra, Kumasi, or the regional capitals you go, you will find stores that are stocking American products, UK products, UK brands, Japan brands, Canada brands. You know, we know that these products are of very high quality. But we want to get in, we want to interfere in the handling. How does it come in? How is it kept? So that by the time you pick it on the shelf, it is wholesome and it will not affect your health adversely.
The FDA says processes for registration of products have been made less cumbersome for importers and freight forwarders.
Demonstration school for the deaf at Maupong, Ikuaping in the Eastern region has been provided with a hearing and speech diagnostic assessment center. The Rotary Club of Accra West funded the center at a cost of 39,500 Ghana cedis.
Demonstration School for the Deaf has a student population of 460. The school requires specialized equipment to aid in the learning. So the Rotary Club of Accra West stepped in to construct a hearing and speech diagnostic assessment center for the school. The club spent 39,500 cedis on the project. The center is expected to help in monitoring the hearing threshold of the pupils. The headmaster of Demonstration School for the Deaf, Mr. Sutumte Ametiwi, was full of gratitude for the facility. He pledged that the school will preserve the center and ensure that the students derive maximum benefit from the center. The club president of the Rotary Club of Accra West is Rotarian Nayeram Kukula.
Last year, in our preparation for end-of-year festivities, we reached out to the school and the headmaster informed us of his vision to put up an assessment center and provide some necessary equipment for the kids. Towards the completion of the assessment center, we contributed about 11,500 cedis, and then the equipment that we delivered today cost about 28,000 cedis.
The students also expressed their joy for the facility and thanked the club for the intervention. Out of the total student population of 460, 15 pupils are both blind and deaf, so the Rotary Club of Accra West is considering supplying the school with additional equipment that will aid the visually impaired. The provision of a hearing and speech diagnostic assessment center is in line with Rotary's key areas of focus under the basic education and literacy.
You're still watching News Hour live on GTV and GBC News. Still ahead, business, sports and entertainment. To stay.
21. The journey to our centenary has been amazing.
Galamsey. Yenjai Galamsey.
Welcome back to some business stories now. The AFTA Secretariat has created a dispute settlement body to address any infractions that may arise from increased intra-Africa trade. The chief executive of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Madame Benonita Bismarck, said the move is to build confidence in businesses to leverage on opportunities created by the Continental Trade Deal. This came up at the 13th Maritime Law Seminar for Judges of the Superior Courts of Adjudicature in Accra.
We have, as GSA, engaged several of the stakeholders on AFTA to enable our stakeholders position themselves to benefit from it. This is coming at a time that the government's national export strategy is also in full swing. We are confident that the export strategy and the other initiatives that the country is likely to see a yearly increase in cargo throughput. Already, the automated clearance regime and the huge investments in port expansion projects have made the port more attractive in the sub-region and in Africa as a whole. Port charges have been of great concern in recent times, and the Ghana Shippers Authority, in collaboration with other stakeholders, has begun moves to streamline charges at the port and also reduce the cost of shipping.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources is working to secure a London Bullion Market certification to enable Ghana to refine gold for direct trading on the global markets. In furtherance of this, a 400 kilogram per day gold refinery being undertaken by the Precious Minerals Marketing Company and the Royal Gold is about 90% complete. The sector minister, Mr. Samuel Jinapor, disclosed this at a public lecture at the Kumasi campus of the Ghana Law School in the Ashanti region.
Participants at the lecture, which focused on the mining regime in the country, included individuals and groups in the mining sector and traditional leaders. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Samuel Jinapor, explained Ghana's mining history, including ownership, legal regimes and frameworks, challenges and the way forward. He said, despite the economic prospects in the sector, inadequate investment by successive governments, lack of collaboration, over-reliance on gold, as well as exploitation of raw materials have robbed the nation of maximum benefits.
Over the years, the only attempt that had been made under the government of President Nkrumah to add value to our mineral resources was the construction of the Akosomo Dam and the establishment of the Valco Aluminium Company, Valco, to operate full integrated aluminium industry. But despite the involvement of global giants like Kaiser Aluminium and chemical corporations and Alcoa, till date, we have not been able to build that integrated industry.
Mr. Jinapor said the government is pursuing value addition to iron, bauxite and gold.
Under the leadership of President Akufo-Addo, by Act 976 and Act 988, we have established the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, GIADE, and the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation, GISDEC, to promote and develop integrated aluminium and iron and steel industries, respectively, in the country.
As part of the event, the SRC of the Ghana Law School awarded scholarships to some needy students and presented funds to support 2 visually impaired students of the school.
That's it for the business segment. International news is next.
And that is exactly what I'm doing in the fight against galamsey.
Yenjai, yenjai, galamsey. Yenjai, yenjai, galamsey. Yenjai, 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 galamsey, ese Ghana. Ghana, my emrena so. Galamsey, ese yenjai, my enkambum, na ye mine say shaya ye pepre. Yenjai, yenjai, galamsey. Yenjai, yenjai, galamsey. Yenjai, 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 galamsey, ese Ghana. Galamsey, yes you are sayo. Galamsey, and forest are sayo. Galamsey, in call for ewu. Say a bunch of wow, bedem. Yenjai, yenjai, galamsey. Yenjai, yenjai, galamsey. Yenjai, 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 galamsey, ese Ghana. Ye my Ghana, ye shamaning seo. Ye my Ghana, ye shamaning seo. Ye my Ghana, ye shamaning seo. Galamsey must stop. Galamsey must stop. Galamsey must stop. Galamsey must stop. Galamsey must stop.
Welcome back. Hundreds